Good morning, guys. It's Coach Williams. I hope you guys are having an amazing day today. We got some good stuff here for you. Welcome to the morning tea. And this week, we are going to be talking about seven things, seven tools that you need to live this life of victory. Thank you to the replay viewers, those people that will be viewing this at a later time. I don't take it lightly that you have saw fit to come into this broadcast. You could have went into any other one, but you saw fit to come into this one. My name is Cassandra Williams. For those of you affectionately known as Coach Williams, for those of you that may have gotten here by a tag, a share, or an invite, okay? And what I do is I help wise, busy professional women and kingdom leaders build the life that they've always dreamed about and live there. We don't just build it and walk away. We build it and we live in it. That place of joy, that place of peace, that place of wealth, whatever that dream life looks like for you, I help you build it. And so this morning we are on day one of our 7 days. If you have not gotten your worksheets yet, please feel free to go to this link, bit.ly/victory tools, and get your worksheets so that you can kind of follow along with me. Sometimes people want my notes. And so this time, guess what? I'm giving you my notes, okay? So that you can go and you can deep dive into what we're going to be talking about. And so, what we're going to be talking about is that life of victory. There are seven things, seven tools that you're going to need to live this life of victory. And like I said, please feel free to share, invite those people that you feel like this is for them. I know it's for you because you're here this morning. But sometimes you be like, oh, so and so, such and such, Sally needs this. Oh my God, my coworker needs this. So I want you to feel free to share it out. Okay. And so what today's topic is going to be is V. V, the V in victory is for the first thing that you are going to need is vision. You are going to need vision. We're not talking about vision is more than what you see. It goes beyond what the natural eye can see. Many of us, when we came into 2020, we were talking about 2020 vision because when you go get your eyes checked, you'd be like, oh, okay, well, everybody wants the 2020 vision. Some people got it by surgery, some people have it, by wearing, glasses. You get a little older, the eyes don't quite work the way that they need to in the morning. So, hey, you may need just a little bit of help, right, to have that 2020 vision. And so, when we came into this year, many of us were talking about that 2020 vision, right? And many of us have looked at it and been like, this ain't quite what I signed up for. When you look at 2020, it's like, this is not with the pandemic, with the coronavirus, being quarantined, everything. You're like, this ain't quite what I had in mind, right? And so when I'm saying vision as a tool, I'm talking about when you look at your circumstances, can you still see endless possibilities? When you look at your circumstances, can you see what it can be? When you look at your circumstances, can you see through the eyes of God? Can you see Him yet working? Because sometimes we we get to the point where we're kind of looking around and we get caught up in the news. We get caught up in what we see in the bank account. We get caught up in what everybody is saying, the chatter. We get caught up in it's almost like a mob mentality that we get caught up in what everybody else is doing and we miss what we are supposed to be doing ourselves. So when I say vision, sometimes vision is more than what you carnally see. It's seeing into the land of impossibilities, okay? Helen Keller says it this way: the only thing that is worse than being blind is having sight and no vision. Meaning you get up every day and you can see. You can see everything around you, but you have no direction. Many of us have seen it in our kids. Many of you may have had a season in your life where you were like, I have no idea where I'm going. And when you don't have a vision, it's like getting in your car, setting out on the destination, getting in the car, getting on the highway without a destination. That's what it's like not to have vision because you don't know where you're going. You're just getting in the car and having a drive. And that's good sometimes, but you can't live your life like that. You can't live a life of victory like that without knowing where you're going. Because guess what? If you don't know where you're going, how do you know when you get there? I'm gonna pause right there. If you don't know where you're going, how do you know when you get there? Because there are times where we've reached a good place. We've reached a place where we can say, take a breath, rest for a minute, and continue on the journey. But we can't even enjoy that moment of victory. We can't even enjoy that happy place in that moment. You know why? Because we don't know where we're going. And so we're always off to the next thing. We're always off to, I used to call it, I used to always be waiting for the next shoe to drop. And so I could not embrace victory. I couldn't embrace that place of joy. I couldn't embrace that place of love. I couldn't embrace those happy places because, good morning, Coach Sylvia. Thanks for coming in. I could not enjoy the happy place because guess what? I was always keeping it moving because I didn't have a destination. Okay. And so vision helps you have a destination. It helps you see where you are going. And so for some of you today, I want you to ask yourself, do you have a clear vision? Do you know where you're going? I understand that when 2020 came in, you had all these plans, but do you have a vision? Do you know where you're going? Because regardless of what's going on right now, your vision should not have changed. Did this unless it was not the direction God was sending you in. But when you have a God vision, when you have that God mandate, that God assignment on your life, your vision should not change because the winds came, the waves came. It doesn't change. Your circumstances should not change the vision that God has given you. And we're talking about vision this morning. That the first thing, the tool that you're going to need to live a life of victory is vision. And we're gonna look at Habakkuk 2:2. And the Lord answered me, write the vision, make it plain on tablets, so he may run who reads it. And many of us, we love that part of the scripture, and we normally stop right there, right? Habakkuk 2:2. And, we can quote it, we can spout it off real quick, right? Because we understand, write the vision, make it plain on tablets. And so, we got, how many of you are like me? You got notebooks, you got journals, you got stuff written down everywhere. You done wrote it on tablets. You done made it plain. But it says, so he may run who reads it. Have you shared that vision with anybody? Because there's somebody that's going to help you run. Or are you holding your vision to yourself and just, saying what, and still got that one day mentality? Because remember yesterday I was telling you that after this teaching, I want you to feel equipped. I want you to feel encouraged. I'm going to encourage you today. I want to educate you a little bit today, but I also want you to act. I want you to be able to share. I want you to be able to articulate your vision after today. Because it says for he that he may run who reads it, right? And so some of you have thought, oh, that just meant you. No, that meant whenever the banker, when you go to the bank and you present your business plan, the bank should be able to run with that vision. When you sit down with that CEO or that philanthropist, they should be able to run with the vision. There are people that are on assignment to help you get to your next place. They don't want to do the day in and day out. They just want to put their money in it. They want to back it. They want to back out of it, right? But there's a second part to that. When I was studying this yesterday, it says, for still the vision awaits its appointed time. So there's an appointed time for your vision to come to pass. It hastens to the end, meaning it's going to continue until it's complete. It will not lie. If it seems slow, now that's where we get caught up. At least I know that's me. If it seems slow, wait for it. It will surely come. It will not delay, right? And so when we are sitting there and we're looking at what God has given us, you know, I'm a suddenly kind of girl. I want that, Paul and Silas, and they at midnight, and they were singing and they was praising, and suddenly the doors swung open. But they've been in there for a few hours. It wasn't like they went in, they prayed, and then they got out. They've been there a minute. Some things take time. Does your vision change when time doesn't seem to be on your side? When time doesn't seem to be working in your favor, does your vision change? Is your vision predicated on, God being a genie? I wish for it, I want it, it happens. We don't have any endurance. That's my word for this year, endurance. You got to have stamina. You've got to have that stick to itness. Because sometimes, y'all, if we get it too easy, we don't appreciate it. I know I don't. I That's just coach. If I get it too easy, I'm gonna probably get tired of it real quick and put it to the side and be like, is anybody else out there like me? Look, I got it too quick. It's like, oh, okay, that's cool. It's like those kids that you give them their favorite, they worry you all year long for that favorite toy. You search high, you search low, you listen. Some of y'all even got into fights over toys because your child wanted that toy and you were a good parent and you made sure they got it, right? And 3-4 days after Christmas, you're like, where's that toy? And they're like, oh, it's in the closet somewhere. It's under the bed. Oh, I dropped it and broke it. And you're like, oh my God, you don't even appreciate it. But see, they didn't work for it. Because see, if you notice those same kids, the older they get, when it's their money, oh, it has a whole different. I have a 14-year-old, so things are different when he's spending our money. Why? That ain't a lot. But then when it's his money, and he has to spend $150, $200 for a pair of tennis shoes, then he might not want to spend that, right? And so we're still talking about vision, that you've got to be able to see past your current situation and circumstances if you're really going to lay hold to the fullness of the vision that God has given you. Because when God was talking to Eve and he gave her the promise that her seed would be able to, that her seed was, that Jesus was going to come. Basically, he was foretelling that Jesus was coming. And he said that her seed was going to bruise the head of the enemy, right? He was going to bruise his heel. He was going to crush his head. But here's the thing, y'all, that took 200 years. She never saw it. Can you imagine her when after she done had this conversation, they have fallen, they got kicked out of the garden when she got pregnant with Cain and Abel, and it's like, yes, this is the seed. This is what's gonna make it all better. And your son, Cain kills Abel. For still the vision awaits its appointed time. It hastens to end. It will not lie. It took 200 years for Jesus to come on the scene. David was anointed. He was appointed by God. The prophet Samuel came and poured oil all over him. He was going to be the next king. But he had to go back out and take care of sheep. I'm anointed. I'm appointed. But I got to go back out to the sheep, it would take 15 years before he would become king. Joseph had a dream. Because I want to tell you that sometimes things take time. There's a process to it, but you got to remember the vision. Everything that David went through, nothing changed the vision. Everything that Joseph went through, from the pit to the palace to the prison, none of that changed. And then then he became governor. But guess what? That wasn't even the fulfillment, because he had to remember. See, the fulfillment took 22 years, okay? The fulfillment took 22 years. He was governor for, I think it was like 9 years before his brothers came on the scene. See, you have to go back to the original dream. The dream was that the sun and the moons and the stars were going to bow down, which meant his family would come and bow before him. So him becoming governor wasn't enough. They had to bow. That thing had to be completed. Don't stop halfway, y'all. Some of you have made great strides concerning your vision, but it's not all that God has said it would be. This is not it. It will be exactly what He showed you. But vision has to keep seeing it. Vision has to see, I ain't seen that yet. Vision had to tell him, yes, I'm in this pit. I'm in this prison. I'm in the palace. Hey, because some people would have murmured, some people would have complained, some people would have been like, God, that ain't what you showed me, and they would have turned their back, they would have walked away, they would have just threw up their hands. But he was consistent. It took Noah. He told Noah, build an ark. It had never rained, not a drop of rain. He said, build this ark. It took him 55 to 75 years. They're not exactly sure how long. But here's the thing. Can you imagine being ridiculed for 55 years, 75 years? Can you imagine being talked about? For still, the vision awaits. It's appointed time. It hastens to the end. If it seems slow, wait for it. He didn't have heavy duty machinery like we have today. This was a man building this gigantic, as we would say, boat from the ground up. He had to go get the materials. He couldn't just call Lowe's and say, "Hey, bring me some wood." He had to go get the wood. He had to chop it. He had to do all of that. Can you imagine people talking about you, laughing at you? Yeah, some of you can, because guess what? They're doing it now. They're laughing at you. They're talking about you. They're ridiculing you because of the vision that God has given you. Good morning, Sophia. Thanks for coming in. So 75 years being talked about. Some of us can't even handle it for 2 days. And then Abraham and Isaac, it was 25 years from the moment God spoke it till he held the baby in his arms. And why am I giving you those examples? 200 years, 15 years, 22 years, 55 to 75 years, 25 years. Because sometimes it takes a minute, but I need you to wait on it. I need you to wait for what God said. I need you to stay present. I need you to live in this place of victory, this forward movement. Because what if Joseph had gotten mad? Oh, he had made it he was the governor. He was over everything that Pharaoh owned, right? He was over the grain. So when the famine hit, he was the man. And many of us would have been like, oh, that's the word. That was it. But then his brothers came and bowed before him. How would you have responded when they bowed? And in a different season in my life, I would have been like, listen, I got something to say. You don't know who I am. You don't, but he toyed with them a little bit. But here's the thing, y'all. He didn't hold it against them. Because here's the thing, had they never sold him, had they never threw him in the pit, had he never been sold, had he never went to the palace, had he never went to the prison, those are the things that built character, that let God know I can trust you, that let Pharaoh know I can trust you. Because wherever he went, no matter how bad the situation looked, everybody saw the hand of God on his life. Everybody saw the hand of God. During this pandemic, no matter how bad things have gotten, are people seeing the hand of God in your life? No matter what it's looking like, do you see the hand of God? Y'all, can I tell you, victory is not given, it's won. I'm gonna say that again. I need y'all to type that because I need you to hear you. I need you to say it out loud. I need you to type it on the screen. Victory is not given. Victory is won. I need you to post it. I need you to put it everywhere that you can see it, because sometimes we feel like victory is a cakewalk. We feel like God owes us something and he should just give it to us. No, victory is won. You have to put in the work for this. There's work you got to do. And the first thing you got to have is vision. You can't be moved by every wind and doctrine and everything that you say. You see and what everything that everybody is saying. You have got to stay focused on what is the vision? What is God giving you? What has he put into your hands? You got to stay focused on that. If during this pandemic, if at the beginning of this year, because God told me that he was going to do some things concerning finances. Good morning, sis. Thanks for coming in. He was going to do some things for me concerning finances and things like that. And I was like, oh, okay. And so I'm like, yes, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And then this pandemic hits and it's like, what am I supposed to do with this? And so here's the thing, y'all. What I thought was going to bring me increase, God shut that thing all the way down. But can I tell you, he was faithful to his word? Can I tell you that he was faithful and I'm holding tight to the vision? And yeah, the enemy has come in and the enemy has been coming through and saying, you need to do this. And the enemy has come in to try to pull on my heartstrings, and he's come in to say this and he's come in to say that. But can I tell you something? When you're focused on the vision, when you know what he said, if God has said if your vision is home ownership, don't let nothing deter you from home ownership. If your vision is a godly marriage, don't you let nothing deter you from a godly marriage. If your place of victory is financial freedom, don't you let nothing deter you from being financially free. Because the enemy is going to come to get you to get distracted, where God is giving you instructions. He's giving you the vision. He's giving you the picture. Joseph didn't know how he was going to get there. All he saw was, look, these things are going to bow down to me. And they got jealous. They was like, we're not going to bow down to you. But can I tell you, at the end of the story, when all was said and done, it happened just like God said. So though the vision tarries, wait for it, even when it seems slow. Because y'all, sometimes we can look at God and we be like, because sometimes God will come at the 26, 27, 28, 48, 72 hours. Okay. We can be like, God, you late. Ask Lazarus, ask Mary and Martha. They thought he was late. But can I tell you that even though to us, God may seem like he's late, can I tell you he's right on time? He is not held to what we call a 24-hour clock time. He is the God of time. He is the God that can accelerate. He is the God that can redeem the time. So even if you like, listen, It's too late. Can I tell you, if God made you a promise, it's not too late. That He is going to come through, that He is going to do what He said He was going to do, though it tarries. But now my question is, go back to Habakkuk 2 and 2. Have you wrote the vision? Did you make it plain on tablets, journals, notebooks, sticky notes, white pieces of paper? Wherever you got it written down, that's your tablet, okay? So that he may run who reads it. Have you shared it with anybody? Because it says, for still the vision awaits. Because sometimes, y'all, you need to say it to somebody. You need to give it to somebody. You need, because there are going to be times in your life where the vision is going to be so heavy for you, or you're going to get so tired that you're going to need people to carry it. There have been seasons in my life where I was like, I don't want to. I'm tired. I don't want to do that. And I had people that would keep the dream alive. They kept the vision alive. Wise Wives Build is here today because I had two friends that every time I got ready to do something, they said, so what you gonna do with that wives group? And what you gonna do with that wives group? And so when are we doing something with that wives group? And I was like, no, 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 no. We're talking about this. They said, okay, that's good. But what about that wives group? So you need people in your life that can catch hold of your vision and run with it and push you to. You need people like that in your life. And it says, for still the vision awaits its appointed time. It has an appointed time, and his time ain't always our time. It hastens to the end. It will not lie. God is not the and is not a man that he shall lie, neither the son of man that he shall repent. If it seems slow, wait for it. It will surely come. It will not delay. So even though sometimes we feel like it's delayed, please know that God's timing is perfect. And because you have breath in your body this day, it's the perfect time. So check your vision today. Do you have 2020 vision? 2030, 2040, 10, 15, you need to correct it a little bit. And I'm talking about spiritual vision now. Um, is your vision clear? Have you written it down upon tablet? Because listen, I can't trust what's in my head. Everybody knows my phone is right here. That if I don't put it on my calendar, I used to can remember a lot of stuff, y'all. But if I don't put it on my calendar, if it's not in my calendar, it didn't happen. We didn't have that conversation. Okay. And so what I want you to do today is revisit the vision. Go back to the original vision. There were times, y'all, and seasons, and then I'm going to let you guys go. There were times where I went to God and He would say, go back to the original vision that I gave you. What was the first thing that I said? And so I'd have to go all the way back to the very first thing and see if what where I was lining up with the first thing. Because see, I had started to assume and I had started to think and I had started to go in a direction. And God said, nope, I didn't tell you to go that way. This is what I said. I said I was going to do X, Y, and Z. And so I had to get rid of what I saw somebody doing LMN. Because guess what? That wasn't part of my X, Y, and Z. And I had to refocus myself on my vision. So go back to the vision. What did God tell you? What did He tell you about your marriage? Ladies, married or my Esther's in waiting. If you're married, what did He tell you about that man of God? I know y'all been calling some of them something else, but what did He tell you about that man of God that belongs to you? For those of you that are not married, what has He told you? Have you asked Him about your husband? Pray for him now. Don't wait till you get a ring before you start praying. You better cover him from the crown of his head to the soles of his feet before he ever comes into your life. What is the vision of your marriage? For those of you that are single, what is the vision for your finances for your family? What is the vision that you have for your next? Because this ain't it, y'all. Even in the midst of this pandemic, this is not it. We are not going to be here forever. This is not our this mm-mm. This is not our stopping place. Vision. See, vision looks at the pandemic and sees where we're going. Vision says this is what God said. So this is what I'm holding on to. And then we shift with him. We adjust. Man plans his ways, but God orders his steps. So man plans his way. Man has the vision, but God orders the steps. God says right, left. God may say detour, but can I tell you, you always end up at your destination. So, guys, thank you so much for coming in today. My name is, for those of you that have come in, my name is Cassandra Williams of Cassandra Williams Enterprise, and I am your victory coach. I help busy professional women, married ladies, Esther's in waiting, busy professional women, and kingdom leaders live the life, build the life that they've always dreamed of, and stay there. I want you to live in that place. And so you can connect with me on my website, www.thecassandrawilliams.com. For those of you that did not get, there are free worksheets at bit.ly/victory tools, where it has a lot of the notes. It has questions to prompt you. It also has a place for you to go back and come back and listen to this video and jot down your notes, and then take time to reflect, to really do the reflection of, because at the end of this teaching, I want you to feel encouraged. I want you to feel empowered, like you can take on the world. I want you to be equipped. That's why I'm giving you these tools, and I want you to be educated. I don't want you to make decisions based off somebody else's opinion. I want you to be able to see it for yourself. And then I want you to act. I want you to apply what you are learning. So I want you to take a look at your vision today and share this out with someone that may need this, and we'll be back tomorrow. I'll be back Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of this week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday from here on out. But we're going to do 7 days of tools, 7 tools that you need to live in victory. Because so many times people want to help you get to that place, but people aren't telling you how to stay there. They tell you what you need to do. They tell you how, they pray you through, but they don't tell you how to live on the other side. I want to help you live on the other side. I want you to be able to stay there. I'm that coach that will stand at the door and say, "No, we're not going back over there. It's good over here. Stay over here." So I help you navigate those waters of transition to live in that place of victory. So if I can be of service to you, please contact me, www.thecassandrawilliams.com. Email me, info@thecassandrawilliams.com. And don't forget bit.ly/victory tools to get your free worksheets. That's my gift to you, for the next 7 days, because I want you to get the most out of this, because I want you to keep it in your toolbox. I want you to be able to apply these 7 tools, because these 7 tools you can apply to any area of your life, spiritually, professionally, personally, every area of your life. So you guys have an amazing, amazing rest of your day. And I will see you right here tomorrow at 6:30. So share this out. Let somebody else know that we have been live, that the morning tea, we back, y'all. We are back. So love you guys to life. Have an amazing day. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Love you too, Sylvia. Bye, y'all.